What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Doodlehead, and today I'm going to be giving you a rundown of Genshin's latest co-op event and some tips towards the end. As you all know, the Elemental Crucible is now live and gives us the opportunity to team up with friends or anyone online in order to get some Primo Gems, character ascension materials, character XP, tomes, and much more. This event can be started by at least being Adventure Rank 20 and by going to Mondstadt and talking to Timaeus. After the initial convo, he will then ask you to meet up at the Thousand Winds Temple, and that will basically give you a tutorial rundown on what to expect when you actually initiate the event, as well as reward you with 300 Adventure Rank XP for basically following along. At this point, you're ready to start the event as normal and start earning some rewards. When you start the event, you will be greeted with a mob of monsters that would occasionally respawn, as well as these elemental clots that you have to interact with and take them to the Crucible in the middle of the map. The objective here isn't a kill fest. Instead, you have to clear the area of threats so that you can safely deliver the clots that regularly respawn to the Crucible Tower. There will be small diamond-like clots and bigger clots that are cubed with the small diamond-like energy in them. Always aim for the bigger ones since they reward the most progression. And if you can and must, you can pick up the big clots along with the smaller clot of that same elemental affinity. One tip while doing the event is to stick to the same element as much as possible to avoid screwing your teammates over. These clots are made of elemental energy, so they too are subjected to elemental reactions. If you pick up a cryo clot, for example, and proceed to pick up a pyro clot, then they will react to each other, causing the melt status, but it will cause the clots to disappear mostly. Same goes for the Crucible Tower. Mixing too many different elements will be detrimental to your progress and will slow you down. The goal here is to bring as many clots as possible to the Crucible Tower so that it can be completely filled with elemental energy. When you have successfully filled the Elemental Crucible Tower with energy, you can claim the XP rewards at the tower for 40 resin. Do note that 40 resin will be used if you choose to claim the reward, which will reward you with character XP materials based on your adventure rank. So the higher your adventure rank, the higher quality of XP tomes you receive. However, spending 40 resin is a choice and is not necessary to begin nor to take part in the event, only to claim the reward at the end. I say this because you will be given an alchemy book, and this has separate accomplishments associated with the event that when you fulfill these requirements will reward you with free Primo Gems and extra items. In order to access this handbook, simply go to the event page, which is F5 on the PC, and choose Alchemy Handbook on the bottom right. There you will see all current missions associated with the event to complete. This is where spending 40 resin is not necessary, as all you need to do is simply start up multiple Crucible matches and just complete the task given. With the release of this event, there are 3 new additions to the Battle Pass leveling process. As seen here, you get a huge chunk of Battle Pass XP for participating in the event. And if you aim to complete the handbook, then completing these missions will be that much easier. This will definitely help those who haven't reached Battle Pass level 30 for the weapon bounties. Now, all of these missions associated with the handbooks are pretty straightforward and easy, but one in particular can prove challenging to some players. Here we have a mission that requires you to basically complete the event in 3 minutes. The kicker here is that your world level has to be the same as the host if you join someone else's world. Same goes if you host the event. The players that join you, at least one of them must have the same world level as you. I personally feel as if world level 2 and 3 will be most common when matchmaking, so it'll take a couple of Crucible matches to at least satisfy that requirement. Now let's get into the tips on how to complete this within the 3-minute mark. If you have friends or players on your friends list, it will be much easier to coordinate roles and make a more synergized team comprised of the different elements for comboing. But since for the most part players will participate with randoms, it's best if I give these tips so that the community can be better prepared and have an easier time when randomly matchmaking. These tips would apply to players with friends or players joining random lobbies. It's just the execution of the tips that is going to differ. If you are playing with friends, be sure to assign roles and spots. Some team members can primarily take care of mobs, while the rest mainly focus on collecting the elemental clouds and helping with the fighting in between gathering phases, or just to take care of the weaker monsters on the side they are in charge of. Also try to designate spots and who is going to collect clots in which area of the map for a smoother pickup and delivery transition. So for example, one player handles the right side of the map and another player handles the north end of the map. The enemies in this event usually spawn in the same locations, as well as the 2 elite monsters that initiate the elemental inoculation phase. Another tip is to make sure to have a diverse team. Prioritize elemental combos in order to defeat the mobs and monsters easier. There will be elite opponents like the Ruin Guard and the huge Geo Hilichurl monster with the overcoat ability. Overload and Superconduct are going to be your best friends here, so make sure to bring Pyro, Electro, and Cryo units that can dish out damage as well. A healer wouldn't hurt so that any player won't have to waste time to eat food in their menus in order to heal. At different points during the event, there will be announcements either related to the Crucible Tower or elite monsters that you can defeat to spawn bigger elemental clots. There will be a brief moment where the Crucible will glow a certain color related to an element and will temporarily increase the efficiency of that element when it's brought to the Crucible. During this time, you want to gather 3 big clots at the same time and take it to the tower, since it will drastically improve the rate at which the bar fills. During this time, it's also good for the players who are in charge of battling the enemies to try and take out some of the enemies by the tower, because their elemental attacks can disrupt your clouds and cause them to disappear because of the elemental reactions. When the announcement appears that elite monsters have spawned, simply gang up on them so that the team can gather elemental clots when the elemental inoculation phase starts. So basically, as a team, you are going to work at being efficient at map coverage and enemy wiping, all the while transitioning between killing elites and starting the elemental inoculation process. For the players that would like the role of mostly collecting clots, since you're going to be running around and dodging a lot in this not so small area, eating stamina food is highly recommended for more efficiency in your role. Whether you are playing with friends or randoms, following these tips will greatly improve your chances of completing the event within 3 minutes. And that pretty much wraps up this video. So ladies and gents, if you enjoyed this content or found it helpful in any way, go ahead and like the video as well as subscribe for more Genshin Impact related content. And as always, have a blessed day.